Most people who suffer from dyshidrosis, eczema, sinus problems, sinusitis, pet allergies, most people who suffer from those things would rather die. They would literally rather die and or suffer from those issues as they die or leading up to their death, as compared to become a vegan. Hi, I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog, and I speak from experience. You know, for years now, I've been blogging about this on familyfriendlydaddyblog.com. You can see many articles and testimonials I've written about this. I've made other videos on multiple YouTube channels about this. Look, here's the deal. It's about just a couple months away from it being 5 years since I became a vegan. And I didn't do it for animal rights reasons, to make the world a better place. No, I did it for selfish reasons. I did it for selfish reasons. I had dyshidrosis, which is a very extreme form of eczema. It just basically, pus is all in your hands. It's constantly itching, burning, and basically there's no medical cure. There's some things that might tame it down for a little bit. There's no cure for it, okay? And I suffered with that for years. Like I'd say about a decade. For 2 decades, I suffered from constant sinusitis. One side was always blocked up with just air pressure. Nothing would come out when I blew my nose. I was seriously allergic to animals. I mean, if I walk into someone's townhouse, there's a cat locked upstairs in one of the bedrooms, I knew at the moment I walked in the front door, I'm itching, I've got a headache the rest of the night. That would happen to me. But what's funny, I did an experiment nearly 5 years ago, and I thought, what if I was already a vegetarian, I thought, what if I cut out eggs and dairy? And within a weekend, it was like this red plasma stuff just started falling from my face. It was the weirdest thing. And since then, I've been eczema free. I haven't been allergic to any animals, and I pet animals, and then I pet my face and neck just to prove that I have no symptoms anymore. I don't have the sinus. In fact, my mucus is not, it's clear. It's not white, it's not yellow, it's not any other color, it's just clear. And I'm not getting sick like I used to. Now, I'm saying that as a testimonial. I know that becoming a vegan got rid of all those problems. I know that for a fact. But when most people say, and this is the thing, they've commented in blogs and videos, and they said, Nick, I'm so desperate. I've got eczema. It's awful. I'd do anything to get rid of this. I'd do anything. Can you please help me? I went to all these doctors. I paid all this money. I got all this medicine. None of it works. I'm at the end of my rope. Please help me, Nick, please. And I say, that's easy. For nearly 5 years, I've been free of all my symptoms. But are you willing to become a vegan? And it's the same thing every time. You know that story in the Bible of the rich young ruler who approached Jesus and talked about all the good stuff he did and said, you know, basically, can I go to heaven when I die? And Jesus said, that's great that you kept all the commandments, but I ask one thing of you, sell everything you have to the poor and come follow me. And he left sad, didn't he? Because he knew he wasn't willing to give up all that he had and follow Jesus. He was good at following all the other rules, but the one thing he actually needed to do, he became sad. And that's what this makes me think of. It's cliche to me at this point. As a blogger, as a writer, as a YouTuber, it's cliche. People approach me on a weekly basis. They say, Nick, they email me, Nick, I watched your video. Nick, I saw your blog. I'm desperate. Please help me. No one else can help me. You're cured of this? And I've yet to have one person come back to me and say, you know what, Nick? I did what you said. I became a vegan. My problems went away. Now, I will say this. In the real world, where I work, I've had coworkers that they had serious issues with sinus problems and related issues like I've already talked about. Their problems went away after they stopped, eating animal products. So in real life, I had that influence over people. But just as a guy on the internet, people don't have enough faith in me. What they do is they go away sad. And they keep just wasting their time, going back to the doctor, suffering, being depressed, but they won't become a vegan. I've had people say, I would rather die than be a vegan. And really what I'm thinking is, the translation is, I would rather suffer the rest of my life with dyshidrosis or sinusitis or pet allergies or eczema sinus pressure that won't go away. I'd rather suffer with all those things leading up to my death before I'd become a vegan. That's how most people feel. So even though I know there's a cure for this, I've been cured nearly 5 years of it, of eczema, dyshidrosis, sinus pressure, pet allergies. I've been cured for five years almost, but I'm also a vegan. I'm a strict vegan. And here's the thing, I want to close with this. Identity protective cognition. Identity protective cognition. That is when a belief is so much part of your identity that if you hear anyone that talks to you against that, your defense goes up, your emotions go up, and as they start talking, your belief in what you already believe strengthens. So that's how most people are when they hear about that I'm a vegan. They're so used to those annoying vegans. They're all about animal rights and like, you should become a vegan. You're a horrible human being. And then I'm like, I don't care if you become a vegan, but if you want to be healed of this thing, give it a shot at least. It's been working for me. You know, I'm not one of those people who think people should become a vegan. I think if you're suffering from these things, it's worth taking a shot because you're hearing a guy who was healed, like the guy in the Bible. I once was blind, but now I see, you know. That's my life when it comes to the skin disease that I had, right? So I don't care who becomes a vegan or not, but what I do know is this, it's become a cliche. People say they're desperate to be cured of dyshidrosis, eczema, sinusitis, pet allergies. They say they are, but they're not. People are not desperate enough because they're not desperate enough to become a vegan. Now, I'll finally end this video by saying this. One of the ongoing series I've got going on my YouTube channel is this. I am actually an overweight vegan. I'm 5'9", 176 pounds. My BMI is 26, and that puts me in the overweight range. So it's funny because most people, their first reaction is, well, if I become a vegan, I need protein, Nick. You don't understand. I have to have protein. We're supposed to eat meat. I have to have protein. I have to have fat. I have to have cholesterol. Nick, no. Okay, so what, am I the exception to the rule? And I'm overweight. My BMI is 26. I'm overweight. And this has been for 5 years that I've been a vegan. And the second half of that 5-year span is when I've been overweight. You know, not by much, but the fact that I could even be overweight shows you something about being a vegan, right? As long as you get your nutrients from vegetables, fruits, beans, grains, nuts, and seeds, you're good to go. Now, if you went around just eating white bread and tofu, maybe you wouldn't be that healthy. I've got more than enough health, okay? I'm trying to lose some of my health until I get my BMI down. It's possible, but most people are closed-minded. What gets in the way is identity protective cognition, the belief that eating animal products is so much a part of their belief system that you have to eat those things in order to be healthy, that if you don't, you'll be unhealthy. Am I lying to you about being overweight, about getting all the nutrients that I need? Am I lying to you that I used to have dyshidrosis and eczema and allergies and pet? Am I lying about all of this? If I am, why are you still watching this video? All right, so there we go. Here's my fundamental belief about people who suffer from dyshidrosis, eczema, sinusitis, pet allergies. Here's my fundamental belief. Most of them are so stubborn in their beliefs that even though they say they do anything to get rid of their problems, they won't. They're stuck in the mindset, I would do anything but become a vegan. In fact, I'd rather die than be a vegan. That's what most people say. And so now, here's the twist ending. I've made this video for every person in the future who is going to email me and say, Nick, I'm desperate, help me. And then I'll say, okay, become a vegan. And then I'll never hear from them again. I'm looking for people who are going to be different than every cliche that I've ever responded to. I'm looking for people who are so serious about finding a cure and not depending on big pharma to try to solve your dyshidrosis eczema. I'm looking for people who are so open-minded that they say, hey, either this Nick Shell guy is a complete liar or he actually knows what he's talking about. If you believe I am a liar, I am. If you believe I'm telling the truth and I actually care about you and want to help you, then that's who I am. If you believe that as a man I can get plenty of nutrition as a vegan for 5 years, enough so that I'm actually overweight and be cured of these problems, if you believe that that's true, it is. And if you're asking me as the person who's actually inside of this body right now, I can tell you, it is true.